You grew up in a house where love was conditional, where acceptance came with strings attached. You navigated the maze of expectations, learned to wear masks, and buried your true self deep within. You believed family was your haven, but instead, it was a battleground. You fought for your place, feeling the weight of unspoken judgments, the sting of harsh words that echoed in your mind long after they were spoken. You did everything right, yet somehow, it all feels wrong. In the quiet moments, when the world fades away, you're left with a gnawing emptiness, a whisper of something lost. Carl Jung spoke of the shadows that dwell within us, but what if your shadows were shaped by those you were meant to trust? What if the soul contract you never chose binds you to pain instead of love? What if healing means facing the very ones you thought would never hurt you? But only if you played the game just right. You molded yourself into shapes that fit the narrow confines of what you were taught to be. Success was a trophy, validation a fleeting glance, and happiness, well, it was a mirage that shimmered just out of reach. But now, as you stand amidst the rubble of an identity that no longer serves you, it feels like everything you once chased has slipped through your fingers. Instead of fulfillment, you're met with a numbing silence, a void that echoes with the weight of unspoken truths. Maybe you're not broken. Maybe those tools you relied on have simply ceased to function in this new landscape of your soul. This dissonance you feel, it's an echo of a life lived under the relentless demands of family conditioning, the hustle culture that glorified exhaustion, and the spiritual bypassing that left your wounds untouched. You've been caught in a paradox, striving for a version of happiness that was never yours to claim. The very framework you built your life upon is collapsing, and in its wake, you're left grappling with confusion, questioning your worth and purpose. Carl Jung spoke of a dance between the persona and the self, a struggle that unfolds in the shadows. In this space, the masks you wore to navigate familial expectations are being stripped away. The numbness that wraps around you isn't a void, it's the silence that precedes transformation. It's the moment when the old you fades into the background, making way for something deeper, something more authentic. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast forest, the trees whispering secrets of growth and decay. You've walked this path for so long believing that betrayal of success was the only way to find meaning. Yet now you're confronted with the realization that true awakening often resembles a death of old beliefs, unexamined patterns, and the relentless pursuit of approval. This is the liminal space, the threshold where you find yourself not malfunctioning, but being emptied for reconstruction. As you reflect on this journey, consider how the old narrative served only to bind you, while the new one invites you to explore your depths. This confusion, this unsettling numbness, is not a flaw. It is the fertile ground for rebirth, a necessary shedding of skin before the emergence of something more vibrant and true. Awakening is not a singular moment of enlightenment, but rather a series of quiet deaths, each one preparing you for the next chapter. The shadows within you once feared are now beckoning you to integrate them, to understand that the light cannot exist without the dark. This is where your soul begins to reclaim its voice, where the remnants of a false narrative dissolve, paving the way for an authentic existence. So, as you stand in this space of uncertainty, know that this is the beginning of something profound. Embrace the emptiness, for within it lies the seed of your becoming. This is not an end, but a necessary pause, a moment to breathe before the next step into your true self. What if this moment of stillness is not a void, but a canvas? In the quiet, where you feel lost, a deeper truth is waiting to unfold. Carl Jung teaches us that the journey toward wholeness is not a straight path, it is a labyrinth filled with shadows and echoes of our past. Here, in this in-between space, we are confronted with the parts of ourselves that we've long neglected. The ego, with its relentless pursuit of approval, is now falling away, revealing the raw, unfiltered essence of who you truly are. Imagine the caterpillar, curled up in its cocoon, feeling the weight of transformation. It does not resist the darkness, it surrenders to it, trusting the process of becoming. This is your cocoon, a necessary pause where the fragments of your identity can merge into something new. The discomfort you feel is a sign of growth, a reminder that the old ways are no longer serving you. As you sit with this pain, recognize it as the doorway to something greater. Jung spoke of the shadow, those hidden aspects of ourselves that we fear to face. What if the very things you've been avoiding hold the key to your liberation? The shame, the grief, the anger, they are not enemies, but guides leading you back to the soul contract you didn't choose. They beckon you to acknowledge their presence, to integrate them into the tapestry of your being. You are not lost, you are remembering. Each layer you shed brings you closer to your true self, the self that exists beyond the expectations of others. It is a reclamation of your voice, your desires, your dreams. This journey through the darkness is akin to the alchemical process, where lead is transformed into gold. It requires patience and a willingness to sit with the discomfort, for only then can the transformation be complete. In this moment of recognition, let the wisdom of ancient truths wash over you. The hermit in the cave is not alone, he is gathering strength for the journey ahead. The death before rebirth is not an end, but a clearing, making space for the new life that is on the horizon. Each breath you take in this cocoon is a step towards illumination, a step away from the confines of your former self. Embrace the stillness. Allow the silence to cradle you, for it is here that clarity begins to emerge. This is not about fixing what's broken, it's about embracing the entirety of your experience. This pain you feel might just be the catalyst for your awakening. It might be the very thing that ignites the flame of transformation within you. As you navigate this storm, remember that you are seen. You are not alone in this process. The shadows are not to be feared. They are companions on your journey towards self-discovery. Each moment spent in reflection is a moment spent nurturing the essence of who you are meant to become. You are on the brink of something profound. The journey may be winding, but every step is leading you home. As the cocoon begins to crack and the light filters in, know that you are not just surviving this transformation. You are becoming. This is your initiation, your rebirth. And the path ahead is filled with promise. Embrace it. You've shed the skin of who you used to be, but as you sit in this stillness, a haunting question lingers in the air. Why does it still feel so heavy? What is this invisible weight that drags you down, even in your moments of silence? This is where we confront the shadow, that repressed self, the parts of you that have been buried deep in the cavern of your psyche. Carl Jung spoke of the shadow as the repository for the traits, traumas, and truths we have pushed into the darkness, deeming them unacceptable or unworthy. It is not merely a collection of negative attributes, it is the essence of your unacknowledged self, the emotions you've silenced in your quest for acceptance, the desires you've buried to avoid the sting of rejection. In your journey, you may feel a profound emotional numbness. This numbness isn't the absence of feeling, it is the overwhelming tide of emotion locked behind a wall you've constructed. You've buried your fire to survive in a world that demanded your compliance, and now, in this cocoon of stillness, you realize you've forgotten where you placed it. The shadow is not just a specter of your past, it is the manifestation of the fears that have taken root in your being, the fear of success that whispers you're not enough, the fear of failure that paralyzes your ambition, the shame that wraps around your heart like a heavy cloak. Chronic fatigue seeps into your bones, not from a lack of rest, but from the relentless energy expenditure of keeping your true self hidden. You may notice a disconnection from your desires. The things that once brought you joy now feel distant and unattainable. You've become a spectator in your own life, watching as your passions flicker and dim, overshadowed by the weight of expectations. The ability to care, to invest emotionally in the world around you feels dull and distant, as if you are looking through a foggy lens, straining to see the vibrant colors of life that once seemed so vivid. Understand that this chaos within you is not something to fear. It is a voice calling out from the depths, a memory trying to return through the cracks of your carefully managed life. The shadow is your truth, the parts of you yearning for recognition and acceptance. Each symptom you experience is not a flaw but a signal, a reminder of the richness of your inner landscape. As you stand at this threshold, recognize that the weight you carry is not an insurmountable burden but a reflection of your inner fragmentation, a call to weave together the disparate threads of your being. You are not alone in this struggle. It is a universal experience, a part of the human condition. The darkness that you feel is an invitation to explore the depths of your soul, to illuminate the corners where the shadow resides. Embrace this moment of recognition. You are on a path of discovery, where understanding begins to replace confusion. The journey ahead may be daunting, but it is also an opportunity to reclaim what has been lost. Allow yourself the grace to explore this shadow, for in acknowledging its presence, you lay the groundwork for the next step, understanding the inner split that has kept you fragmented. Let curiosity guide you deeper into this exploration, for there lies the potential for wholeness and healing. Now that the shadow has been named, something deeper is revealed, a war inside you. It's a conflict that stirs the depths of your being, pulling you into opposing directions. Your ego, that part of you steeped in the old rules of survival, clings to familiar patterns, identities, and performances, desperately trying to hold onto what it knows. Meanwhile, your emerging self is whispering new truths, calling for growth and authenticity, even if those truths feel unclear and daunting. This discord is palpable. Neither side is fully in control, and the tension between them can feel like a relentless storm. You want to move forward, yet something holds you back. Your body is here, navigating the daily grind, but your soul is somewhere else, reaching for something more profound. You long for silence, a moment of clarity, yet in that stillness, anxiety creeps in, a reminder of the unresolved battles within. It's as if you are teetering on the edge of a precipice, longing to leap into the unknown, yet tethered by the familiar chains of your past. Carl Jung spoke of this tension as the struggle between persona and self, the crisis that emerges before true integration can occur. Nietzsche framed it as the Apollonian versus the Dionysian, highlighting the chaotic dance between order and chaos, reason and passion. Gabor Maté elucidated the divide between the true self and the adapted self, a creation born from trauma. In this light, your experience is not unique. It is part of the universal human condition. The emotional cost of this split is profound. You may feel exhausted, as if being pulled into directions, each side demanding your attention, your allegiance. Self-doubt creeps in, whispering, which part is really me? There's a sense of shame that lingers when you find yourself regressing into old behaviors, the ones you thought you had outgrown. And amidst this turmoil, there's grief, a mourning for the version of yourself that feels like it is slipping away, fading into shadows. It's essential to understand that this division is not a sign of dysfunction. This is the breaking of an inner shell, an essential part of your journey. You are not failing. You are mid-transformation, navigating the tumultuous waters of your psyche. Each wave of confusion, each moment of hesitation, is a necessary rite of passage. This conflict is sacred, a reflection of your desire to evolve and embrace the wholeness of who you are. As you stand at this crossroads, remember that this tension, though painful, is also the doorway to alignment. It's the space where transformation begins, where you can start to reconcile these fractured parts of yourself. Acknowledge both the fear that clings to the past and the hope that yearns for the future. Embrace the struggle, for it is within this very struggle that you will find the seeds of integration and wholeness. So, take a breath. Allow yourself to feel the weight of this internal war without judgment. You are not broken, you are in the process of becoming. And as you prepare to step into the next phase of your journey, know that every moment of discomfort is guiding you closer to the truth of your being. In the words of Carl Jung, the journey toward wholeness begins with bringing the unconscious into conscious awareness. Each fragment of your being, every piece of confusion, is a messenger from the depths of your soul, urging you to listen. What if the discomfort you feel is not a flaw, but a sacred call to embrace the fullness of your experience? Imagine your internal landscape as a grand, unfinished architecture. The walls may seem cracked, and the rooms may echo with uncertainty, but this is the birthplace of your true self. The ego and the self are beginning to converse, not fight. This is the alchemy Jung spoke of, where the raw material of your inner chaos becomes the foundation for meaning and purpose. Confusion then transforms into inner reorganization. It's a sign that the old patterns are loosening their grip, making way for new insights. Apathy is not a void. It's a fertile ground where a new set of values is quietly forming. Guilt, too, serves as a signal from the soul, illuminating the false roles you've played and the masks you've worn. Emptiness is the space where truth will grow, an invitation to fill your life with authenticity and passion. You are not lost. You are composting old selves into fertile soil. This is psychological alchemy, transforming pain into presence. Embrace the mess as sacred and purposeful. The discomfort you experience is not just a sign of struggle, it is evidence of healing in motion. No transformation happens in comfort. Growth often wears the mask of grief, and when the soul reorganizes you, it may feel like falling apart. But know this, it's a deeper form of coming together. As you navigate this sacred chaos, hold space for the discomfort without rushing to resolve it. Integration is a slow and nonlinear process, a dance between light and shadow. For Gabor Maté, it's about allowing the true self to emerge from beneath the layers of adaptation that once served you. For Friedrich Nietzsche, it's about embracing the full spectrum of being human, acknowledging both your light and your dark as the pathway to genuine power. So take a breath and let the weight of this experience settle in. You are in the midst of a profound journey, and the fragments of your soul are beginning to weave together into a tapestry of truth and authenticity. Prepare yourself for the next phase, where new values will emerge, clarity will take form, and alignment will begin to blossom. This is not a race. It is a sacred unfolding. Allow it to be. Allow yourself to be. That's not a failure, it's an invitation. An invitation to redefine your identity, to explore what truly resonates with your soul. In this process of awakening, identity shifts from being ego-built, rooted in roles, achievements, and the constant pursuit of approval to becoming soul-built, grounded in resonance, presence, and alignment. This new identity is not rigid, it is fluid, authentic, and intuitive. Imagine designing a home for your soul rather than crafting a costume for your persona. Instead of wearing masks to navigate through life, you're learning to become transparent, allowing your true self to emerge. What once fueled you no longer does. Now you find nourishment in what feels genuinely true. You may discover that saying no to relationships that demand your performance is not an act of rejection, but an affirmation of your worth. Leaving a job that contradicts your values becomes a declaration of your commitment to your soul's journey. You might feel drawn to create, to rest, or to serve, not as a means of proving your worth, but as an expression of your essence. These shifts in values, choices, and motivations reflect a deeper understanding of who you are. You might find yourself exploring new hobbies that ignite your passion or seeking environments and conversations that resonate with your newfound clarity. There's no need to justify these choices. They simply align with the emerging self that you are revealing. This journey of redefinition echoes the insights of great thinkers. Carl Jung spoke of individuation, the process of becoming the self, integrating all aspects of your being. Gabor Maté emphasized the importance of returning to authenticity, while Friedrich Nietzsche championed the idea of self-creation and overcoming. You are not just inventing a new identity, you are uncovering the layers that have obscured your true nature. This is what real freedom looks like, not chaos, but conscious creation. You're not reinventing yourself, you're revealing yourself. Each decision you make, each value you embrace, brings you closer to a life that feels authentic and sustainable. It's a deeply empowering experience, yet it remains grounded in the understanding that this path is nonlinear and often messy. Embrace the discomfort, it is part of the journey. As you continue to navigate this process, remember that you are preparing to connect with the world again. This new self is not meant to exist in isolation. It will seek purpose, service, and expression in ways that feel aligned. The next step awaits, where the emergence of your soul-aligned self begins to weave itself into the fabric of the world around you. Take a breath, trust the process, and allow your true essence to shine. Now that you've stopped performing and started listening, the world feels different. Or rather, you relate to it differently. You're not returning to the old world, you're bringing something new into it. This isn't about going back. It's about going forward, but aligned with your essence. Engaging with the world post-awakening, you may find your interactions slower but deeper. Each connection you forge now feels more selective, yet more honest. It's less about proving yourself and more about participating in the symphony of life, where your notes resonate with authenticity, as Carl Jung would suggest. The self now interacts with the collective. This is the archetypal return of the hero, a call to bring wisdom back to your tribe. You step into relationships with a newfound clarity, where authenticity becomes the bedrock. Gabor Maté would remind you that these relationships flourish when built on the foundation of your true self, free from the shadows of toxic dynamics. You express yourself in ways that feel liberating. You speak more truthfully, even if your voice shakes. You create without asking for permission, letting your inner artist flourish. You walk away from roles that no longer honor your journey, embracing the peace that comes from simplicity. No longer hungry for applause, you find fulfillment in the act of sharing your light. In this sacred reconnection, you are no longer reacting to life. Instead, you respond with presence, each moment becoming an opportunity for genuine interaction. Your life transforms into art, not an argument. You've stopped asking, "What do they think of me?" and started asking, "What wants to move through me?" As you navigate this new terrain, you attract people who resonate with your truth. The relationships you nurture are now reflections of your authentic self. You let go of those who needed your performance to feel validated, recognizing that your true worth does not lie in others' perceptions. You lead by living, not by persuading, embodying the wisdom you've uncovered. This is not merely a shift, it's a sacred expression of your being. Your truth is medicine, but only if you share it. Each interaction becomes a transmission of healing, a ripple in the fabric of existence that invites others to step into their own authenticity. Prepare yourself for the next step, the unfolding of a spiritual and symbolic life. Here, inner guidance becomes your compass, synchronicity your map, and soulful participation your destination. As you embrace this new way of being, you'll find that the universe mirrors your intentions, revealing paths you never thought possible. In this journey, remember, every moment is a chance to express the essence of who you are. The world awaits your presence, your light, your truth, step forward, and let the sacred dance of life unfold before you. This is the dawning of the symbolic life, a concept Carl Jung illuminated, where the veil of literal interpretation lifts, revealing a rich tapestry woven with metaphors, archetypes, and synchronicities. It's not superstition, it's a profound form of psychological and spiritual intelligence that guides you to deeper realms of understanding. In this realm, dreams become more than mere nightly escapades. They transform into emotional insights that illuminate your path. Recurring symbols or numbers dance around you, mirroring internal shifts that beg for recognition. Perhaps you feel a gut instinct nudging you toward a decision, leading you away from the noise of the external world and toward the quiet certainty of your inner knowing. In the rustle of leaves or the strokes of a paintbrush, nature and art speak to your soul, echoing the unspoken truths waiting to be unearthed. Navigating this symbolic life requires stillness, a pause in the chaos to listen deeply. It calls for self-trust, a leap into the unknown where intellect takes a back seat, allowing feelings to guide your way. You connect not just with the ego but with a deeper self, one that transcends the mundane and embraces the mystery of existence. Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are," and in this journey you find that privilege unfolding in layers of meaning. As the unconscious becomes a creative partner, you realize that this is a natural progression beyond individuation. Here, life ceases to be a series of problems to solve. Instead, it morphs into a poem waiting to be translated. You stop asking for signs, and instead, you start seeing them everywhere, woven into the fabric of your daily existence. No longer do you interpret events purely through logic. You begin to feel their shape, their pattern, their pull, as if they are inviting you to dance with them. This symbolic life is not passive. It's participatory, inviting co-creation. It speaks softly, urging you to respond not perfectly, but truthfully. The universe becomes a canvas on which your experiences paint vivid stories, and each connection becomes a sacred thread that binds you to something larger than yourself. As you embrace this new way of perceiving, you prepare the emotional ground for what lies ahead, a life of contribution. This journey is not about performance but about authentic expression. In step 10, you will be invited to take all you've lived, the lessons, the insights, the symbols, and share them. Creatively, truthfully, publicly, or privately, but always consciously. In this sacred act of sharing, you honor the journey of the symbolic life, a testament to your evolution. You become a vessel of wisdom, a beacon of authenticity in a world yearning for genuine connection. The legacy you create is not merely what you leave behind. It's the vibrant expression of your soul's journey, a dance of meaning that invites others to join in, to explore their own symbolic paths. This journey has been a profound exploration of self, where you've peeled back the layers of your former identity to reveal the essence of who you truly are. Now, as you emerge from this transformative process, your deepest truth is ready to be shared, not as performance, but as presence. True contribution isn't about perfection or applause, it's about showing up fully, imperfectly, and consistently in your life. It's an invitation to express the unique symphony of your being, a call to create, heal, and connect. This can manifest in countless ways through creative projects that reflect your soul's voice, by healing and helping others through your lived experiences, or by teaching, mentoring, or simply holding space for those around you. Even the smallest acts of everyday kindness and integrity in your relationships and work contribute to the tapestry of your legacy. Drawing from Carl Jung's profound wisdom, we understand that individuation is not merely the journey to self-realization, it is the culmination of becoming a bridge between the inner and outer worlds. When you embrace your whole self, you naturally find ways to serve the collective. This is not just about you, It's about how your awakened self can illuminate the paths of others. In the spirit of Dr. Gabor Maté, let's remember the importance of compassionate presence and authenticity in nurturing community connections. And as Nietzsche reminds us, life itself is a creative act of becoming an art that you actively participate in. Yet, this journey is not without its challenges. You may grapple with fears of judgment, rejection, or the haunting feeling of not being enough. The resistance to vulnerability can feel like a heavy weight, tempting you to retreat back into the comfort of your old patterns. But here lies the truth. Your unique story, your lessons, your gifts are needed now more than ever. When you step into your truth, you light a path others can follow, inviting them to embrace their own journeys of transformation. Legacy isn't about grandeur. It's about the ripples your presence creates in the lives of those around you. Each authentic interaction, every heart-led action contributes to a collective narrative of hope, healing, and connection. It is through these everyday expressions that you weave a lasting impact, transforming the mundane into a masterpiece of service. This isn't a finish line. It's a new beginning. Embrace the ongoing evolution of your spirit. Keep growing, keep expressing, keep serving from the fullness of your awakened self. Allow your life to be a canvas where each brushstroke reflects your essence and every moment resonates with the beauty of your journey. Your authentic contribution is an essential thread in the fabric of our shared humanity, inspiring others to embark on their own quests of self-discovery and connection. So, take a deep breath and step boldly into this new chapter. The world is waiting for your light, your voice, your art. Embrace it fully and let your soul's purpose shine through in every action you take.